All right. Well, thank you for your patience and your understanding. I'm up against the wall, I think, so I'm going to try to speed through this a little bit. Again, my name is Chris Swartz. I'm the Director of Transportation and Logistics Services at AJC. And how many people have heard of AJC before? How many of you think that's the newspaper? I was at one of the vendor tables and he asked me to write a glowing article on him. I had news for him. Anyways, I'm going to come at this kind of maybe from a different perspective. I have one more question. How many people here have been involved with refrigerated shipping, with refrigerated units? Fair amount. That's not too bad. I'll come at it with a little bit of a different perspective on that, because when you look at a container with a value of $20,000 to $300,000 worth of product in it, the situations get a little bit exasperated and some of the problems become really big really fast. So we manage our business really from a hypersensitive standpoint. I think some of the vendors in here in this room that know us understand what's important to us. Real quick, what is AJC? We really have three legs to our stool that make up the company. The primary, we are a leading international protein marketer. I'll explain a little bit more about what that is later. We're also a global logistics service provider, about a $110 million logistics company that offers third-party logistics services around the world. We're a food distributor, both here domestically in the United States and also abroad. Three very different businesses, but they all are very centric around ocean transportation and more than anything else, a relentless pursuit of excellence. Talking about the group, bringing all three businesses together, we ship about, it says about 33,000 containers annually. It's really more like 36,000. I would say 90% of these are refrigerated units. We represent 15 food processing plants around the world, and we have about 1,300 customers globally. We define a customer as somebody we do business with every month out of the year. Again, talking about the company, AJC is really one of those companies where we're all about the people. And if you imagine we're over $1 billion plus company, we have 312 people around the world that drive our business every day. We have 13 offices globally. That these are our offices, our people, staffed and trained with HR and finance. This does not include our agency network, which would take this number into tens of thousands. If you look at the makeup of our employees, we speak 30 different languages and 35 nationalities. My background, I came up on the steamship side. I worked for a company called Sealand, and Sealand was about that diverse, and it's a very unique environment to work in a company where on any given day you're speaking and listening to 20 different languages. If you look at the diversity of our business across the globe, we're very international in nature. In fact, a couple years ago, I was overseas meeting with one of the steamship lines, and I was explaining our business. I said, do you realize we've shipped from 32 countries to over 90 countries with you? And he looked at me, turned to one of his assistants and said, do we have anybody that global? And he said, no. So we're very diverse, and with that comes a lot of challenges and a lot of demands on our people every day. Talk about our overall, some of the numbers. I said it before, we're about $1 billion plus, 1.2 this year. And if you look at our volume, we measure a lot of things in metric tons. If you want to equate that to containers, 23 metric tons per container, that's about, I think, 36,500 containers. So it's an awful lot of freight. It's a lot to keep up with. Talk real quick about the protein business. These are just some of the stats. AJC accounts for about 3.5% of the global trade of proteins, and we define proteins, our main categories are poultry, pork, beef, seafood, and vegetables. We're one of the top 2 exporters of poultry out of the United States, and we don't produce a single pound. And then we're the top non-producing pork exporter in the United States. So if you combine those together, we export a lot of proteins. If you look around the world and how we rank with some of the other shippers, we're a top 15 global shipper of frozen goods. We have our own branded items. We're not just selling a commodity per se. We put a brand on it. We put a special cut on it. We put a label on it that's good for our customers, who are then selling to their customers. And everybody knows if you're dealing with branded items, your ability to produce a margin is much greater. We have a lot of strategic alliance with global processors. I think one of the things, if not the thing, that separates AJC from a lot of our competitors, and I think in general, is we believe in partnerships. We believe in relationships, and we demand that it goes both ways. We expect the The service providers and our customers expect a lot from us, and we expect a lot from our service providers and our customers. And then, as I said earlier, we source from over 30 countries, and we sell into 130 countries. So that's the protein side. Okay. If you look at the logistics company side, which we learned a long time ago that one of the things we do very well, if you imagine moving food products around the world to 120 countries, dealing with USDA alikes, AQSIQ, dealing with everybody around the globe, you better be pretty good at it. And you better be able to solve problems. You better be able to pull miracles out of your hat. Well, we realized that was really a core competency of ours. And our customers started asking us, hey, I know you sell us this. Can you do this for us? Hey, I know you're doing this over here. Would you do this for us? So it really was born out of a need. The mother of all inventions is necessity. And so we took that and we took that to markets. We've been doing international logistics for about 35 years. We have a global office, a global network. We're a bonded NVOCC. We're a licensed truck broker. We offer customs house broker. We have everything. So you might ask, what makes you different? Well, everybody can offer those things. Well, what I think we do better than anybody else, and what our customers like Walmart and FedEx and Sucarne, who's the largest beef exporter out of Mexico, or McCain, who's a large potato processor. We put those all together and we provide a service around it that's unparalleled. And it's allowed us to grow quietly and really be very effective and get a very strong loyalty. Just in general, just to recap what the AJC group is, the group of companies, we're a leading international marketer of proteins. We are a high-end logistics provider, and then we're a distributor of food products around the world. What I really wanted to do today, though, and what we talked about as a group here on the panel, was we wanted to talk to the shipping community. We want to talk to the ports. We want to talk to the ocean carriers, and I kind of added in the truckers because I have a soft spot in my heart for the truckers. I feel like they don't get represented enough because they're so vital to what we do. They're that first mile, last mile, and really without them we couldn't do it. So I wanted to kind of bring them into this and talk about the challenges and the opportunities that we're facing, but I think more importantly that the industry is facing. At the top of this list is CSA 2010, and I've warned Cliff Pyron and the GPA out, and the Virginia Port Authority out, and the Jacksonville Port Authority out with this. That we are very concerned about the potential impact of CSA 2010. Now, we heard a little bit earlier in one of the other panels, the impact is yet to really be felt, but let me tell you what, it is like a tsunami out there that if and when it starts getting enforced, it is going to be a huge issue for everybody sitting in this room. There have been articles written that saying that the truck force or the availability capacity could be reduced by 20 or 30% overnight. Not here to scare anybody, but I think we're all here, and as we lead our businesses, we need to be prepared. And that's one of those issues that if it's not on your radar scope, get it on your radar scope. Because if we lose our ability to haul our products to and from the ports, literally overnight, it would cause an impact, and I think it could be similar to what happened on the West Coast. Now, I don't think it will happen because I don't think that the feds and I don't think the government's going to come down that fast and that swift, but let me tell you what, you need to be thinking about it. You need to be prepared about it. Another major issue facing us, and I think facing the industry, and we've talked again with the ports about it a lot up and down the East Coast, the carriers in North America, they want to divest from the chassis business. Totally understand it. Actually, we support it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. The rest of the world does it. They've been doing it down in Miami for a while, so it's not a bad thing. What troubles me or what concerns me, and I would, I'm sure the panel would agree, is how we're going about that. I don't think there's a consistent plan. I don't think the carriers are collectively talking as much as they could be. I don't think they've pulled in the shipping community as much as they should, because I can assure you that we define a container as something with a chassis that can roll. A container sitting in the port in a stack is not a container to us. It's got to be moving, and it's got to have 4 tires with air in it. It's got to have brakes, brake lights, all those things. And I grew up in the carrier side of the business, and the last thing I want to do is bash anybody. But the chassis it's a dirty little secret out there. They're not what they need to be safe for all the people on the highways. There's pending lawsuits out there. It's a real critical issue. So, as AJC, we've been out there trying to be proactive to work with the ocean shippers, with the carriers to come up with alternatives that will help make a smooth transition. Because again, we support it. We think it's the right thing if it's done